Hello, Poweraders. I'm Power Nate.
And I'm the Mountain.
And today we're going to be reviewing Powerade Ultra Mixed Berry.
I'm very interested in this. Now, could you tell me a little bit about mixed berry?
So, judging by the name, I think they took a lot of berries and they mixed it together. Now, the funny thing is that it says mixed berry flavored, which implies to me that there's a pre-existing mixed berry flavor to base this off of, but there's...
Well, I will say, first off, the coloring of this is very indicative of the flagship flavor of Powerade, which is, of course, Mountain Berry.
Yeah, but it's not... I was going to bring that up. It's slightly confusing because both Mountain Berry and Mixed Berry are very similar blue color. I think this one has a bit more green to it if you look at it.
Perhaps. That might also be the lighting.
Maybe.
Not an ideal lighting.
Maybe it is the lighting. Or maybe it's just the fact that I'm colorblind. I'm not sure.
I mean, I'm not a lighting expert, but, like, it's a little orange. But it shouldn't be that bad.
It's slightly yellow, I will say. Maybe that's what's giving it and
perhaps.
the walls behind it.
It's true. I mean, we do have a lot of diffuse lighting in here. It's going to be slightly beige.
It's not necessarily the best lighting situation to be reviewing such a colorful product. But, regardless, slightly...
Yeah, but it's
if I put my hand over it,
you can
and block the light, you can still see it's
still understand.
rather green.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah, so just it's got the standard Powerade Ultra, 0 sugar, 50% more electrolytes, BCAAs, and creatine.
You gotta love it. It's great.
It's really the same old nutritional facts.
0 calories per bottle, which is
0 calories,
which is 80% less than normal Powerade, I believe.
Per serving, yeah. It's got 16% of your daily value of sodium.
That's the electrolytes.
Yeah, all the electrolytes. They're basically sodium. Yeah, so there's not much in terms of nutrition that separates it from normal Powerade.
What's in the ingredients?
I was gonna go to the ingredients next.
I was gonna say,
because I think this is gonna what's sort of differentiated. There's always some slight differences.
There are some slight differences, which makes sense if you think about it. You know, if you're making a product such as Powerade, I mean, true, you're gonna have a lot of the similar electrolytes and vitamins. You know, B3 B6 B12, for example, is very common in Powerade, but some of the sort of flavor components are gonna be different. You know. Some of them you're going to have citric acid, some of them you're not. Some ascorbic acid. You know, some of them have maybe thickening agents, or they have different kind of natural flavors. Some of them may have artificial flavors. I don't know for sure. We've seen a lot of natural flavors. It's possible that there are some artificial ones in there. But in general, there's quite a few common flavors, and then just a few sort of, let's say, additives to change the chemical component.
Now, something I just want to bring up real quick is that this actually has a gram of carbohydrates in there.
Interesting.
Which would normally suggest the presence of a sugar, but there doesn't seem to be any in here just from scanning
it just simply
around.
Says a
single gram of carbohydrate.
Well, perhaps the sucralose is contributing.
I don't know. Sure. I would have to check with, I don't know.
Well, if you see on the sorry for taking the bottle, but if you look on the smart label right here, just get that into focus. You can, of course, scan that, and you can get some additional food information.
Yes, I don't want to interrupt.
Sorry to grab your
filming.
Of course,
but
you can check on your own. If you go to a local store and you find a Powerade, you could perhaps scan it there and see if there's any information. I'm sure you can go on the Coca-Cola website, the Powerade website, and get some additional information there, I'm sure.
We could always, it seems like there's a number you can...
Is there a number?
I thought I saw a number.
Do they have numbers anymore? I don't know that they would necessarily have people calling. Maybe they have an app.
Oh, yeah, consumer information.
Oh.
Call 1-800-343-0341 for consumer information, so...
That is actually quite handy.
Yeah.
If you needed to...
Something else I just noticed.
Yes?
Is that, it breaks up, I see a little disclaimer up here. It says, per 20 fluid ounces, Powerade Ultra has 380 milligrams of sodium and 95 milligrams of potassium, whereas your normal Powerade has 250 milligrams of sodium, and 60 milligrams of potassium. So this is just sort of backing up their claim that this does have 50% more electrolytes.
Interesting.
Moving on from the nutritional facts to the ingredients. We have water, BCAAs, which is L-leucine, L-isoleucine, L-valine. It has less than 0.5% of citric acid, creatine monohydrate, electrolytes such as salt, magnesium, and calcium chlorides, and monopotassium phosphate. It has sodium citrate, natural flavors, pea fiber, lecithin, sucralose, ace-sulfame K, modified food starch, calcium disodium EDTA to protect color, MCT, SAIB, vitamins B3, B6, and B12. Getting to the hard to pronounce section, we have niacinamide, pyridoxine, hydrochloride, and cyanocobalamin.
It's like cobalt, I'm sure it's got in there.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
I believe, what is it? I believe there's some form of amino acid, I believe, that begins with the prefix cyano. So that might be...
cytosine?
No. I think it's cyano...
It might be cyanosine or something.
I think it's cyano... It might be cyanocytosine. I don't know.
I'm not like a DNA biologist kind of person, so I'm not...
A geneticist?
Sure. Geneticist, yeah, I'm not a geneticist, but... Sure, there's something like that. They usually have things that start with like a C or like a D.
They like those
S.
letters a lot.
Yeah. I'm not super sure.
They just like
or A's. There's a lot of A's actually.
I've noticed that there are a lot of rare, like, letters you wouldn't necessarily find in English words in science. Like there are a lot of V's.
Yeah, there's a lot of V's like vitamin.
Yeah, vitamin. Going back to one of the amino acids, valine.
Yeah,
that's one with a V.
That's another word. Yeah.
There's also a lot of K's.
Yeah.
If you've noticed.
This is an interesting fact. Potassium is K on the periodic table.
I was aware of this actually.
Yeah.
I believe it says so on one of the Powerade bottles.
Yes, I believe it actually has the little chemical symbol. It actually has a K on the thing there, which is very interesting.
And just to get back to the ingredients real quick, the last ingredient is actually blue 1.
Interesting there. Now, I would actually say that really is probably contributing to the very blue color here.
Yes, I would actually want to check with the mountain berry flavor of Powerade, just to see if they are using the same blue.
I'm sure they must be, right? Because, I mean, they are both Powerade. I'm sure that they have access to the similar sort of ingredients list and the similar factories and things of that nature. So I'm sure it's, if not the same color, very similar.
So, I think it's time we open up this
Powerade
Powerade
just crack it
Ultra.
open and...
Ooh, get that nice
That was
little...
good.
It's a real crack.
Thank you. Ooh, and instantly I'm getting a little waft of something.
Ooh, it's a very strong scent.
Oh, that's very strong.
It's very strong. I can... Ooh, it smells good.
It smells pretty good. Yeah, and this is like... Once again, it's cloudy. I don't know if you're getting any of the film. I'm not seeing any film on mine.
I'm not seeing any film.
This is a trend we've noticed with the ultras, where the full sugared variants usually have sort of like a cloudy.
I believe
topping.
now that I come to think of it,
I don't believe the that our previous one, the white cherry.
the white cherry didn't have it.
No.
And neither did the
Citrus Blast.
the Citrus Blast.
No.
That didn't have it either. I think that that could possibly be some like some sugar that is just like showing up at the top as sort of like a participate. That's what my theory is. But because there's not really any sugar in here,
No.
you don't get that effect.
You have the sucralose, but you have...
That has some different chemical properties compared to sugar.
I would say so.
But
Yeah.
it's a very nice scent, I
think
gotta
it's-
say.
Yeah.
It's a very familiar scent.
It does. I have some thoughts about it, but I don't know if I should save those for before or after the...
I say save them for after. I think right now we're gonna cheers this and we're gonna start drinking.
Cheers. Yeah.
That's all I can really say.
Wow.
It's a very good flavor.
It is a very good flavor. It is very reminiscent of Mountain Berry.
I agree. But there's... Do you think by any chance the mixed berry could possibly be what they call Mountain Berry and the Ultra variety?
I think that's very likely. I think what... perhaps what had happened is that they didn't necessarily want to confuse consumers by saying, this is also Mountain Berry, because perhaps they would say, well, this is Ultra, this is normal. You know, why are they the same flavor if they're different? And I think what they would try to do is sort of say, well, this is mixed berry. It's still an M berry, so it still has sort of the same alliteration, the same acronym, excuse me, and has still has berry in the name. So they can use sort of a lot of the same components, but it's not necessarily the exact same flavor. Because it isn't the same flavor. I will note that the sucralose is definitely making an impact on the flavor.
Yeah, the sucralose does make an impact, but not necessarily as much as some of the other Powerade Ultras. I think... It's going back in for a quick taste. The sucralose taste doesn't really show up at all. It's very much a...
It's at the beginning, I will say. It's definitely the beginning.
But then it just quickly dissipates as you experience this torrent of just berry.
Yes, I will say, so the thought I had when I was smelling it, and I don't know if I want to go in for another smell. I think it's crunch berries. Is that what I'm smelling?
I think so. It does smell remarkably close to... It almost has a cereal-like scent to it. But not necessarily in a bad way. It's
or
sort of
Trix, or something of that variety.
Some fruity cereal,
Yeah.
But it's just overall a very good flavor of Powerade.
Yeah. I'm not getting, any particular berries, I will say. There is, and this is interesting because it's not a berry, but I'm getting some orange in there. There's a little orange. I don't know if I want to say raspberry necessarily. I don't think it's raspberry. It's perhaps strawberry? What are you getting? It's definitely not blueberry, I don't think. Even though it is blue and it is mixed berries, I'm not necessarily getting much of a blueberry.
I can taste the orange in here. I think it has... It's weird. It does have an overwhelmingly... if you really get down to it, it does have I think a large majority of it is orange flavored.
Which is interesting. I don't necessarily know of too many other sports drinks that have a very sort of orange tasting blue color. So that's actually very good on Powerade Sparks corner that part of the market, I think.
Now,
like a blue curacao, perhaps, or something like that.
Now, admittedly, I'm something of a color theory nerd. I do.
As am I.
And it's just kind of weird because orange is on the complete other side of the color spectrum compared to blue.
This is true.
But yet it works very well.
It really does sell that sort of mixed berry flavor. I will say there's a little tartness that you do get from a strawberry or a raspberry.
I think there could be some I think there definitely is some strawberry in here.
It might be strawberry and perhaps raspberry, and definitely some orange.
I think there's a slight kiwi in there as well.
Do you think? I'm not sure. It's kiwi.
Let
me get a.
There's a slight tropical taste, if you can.
I know what you mean. I don't think that's kiwi.
Tasting it again, I don't think it's kiwi. It definitely has an almost tropical sort of feel to it.
Definitely, I feel like if you were, you went to the Bahamas or perhaps Bahama Breeze, and you were you ordered something refreshing but also could hydrate you after a long workout session. I think this would actually go pretty well. I think
agree.
You could pass this off as some sort of tropical fruity drink.
Yeah. It's just, it's a very...
Tasting it again, I think it might be strawberry. I think what you're conflating as kiwi might actually be from kiwi strawberry. And I think the strawberry is what is actually coming to play.
That might be it. I think you just kind of exceeded my IQ right there.
Yes.
But what would you rate this out of 7?
Ooh, out of 7. It's good. I don't know if it's better than the cherry. This is the thing. We did have the cherry. I believe I gave that a 6.
You did give that a 6.
Yes. So I think I might give this a 5.
Really?
Yeah.
So I'm feeling more of a 6 on this as well.
Interesting.
I think that this is a very good drink.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I could be persuaded to give this a 5.5.
I think that this in addition, this as well as the white cherry, they're pretty evenly balanced in terms of taste, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think, and also I'm noticing a trend with the Powerades is that sort of the more nuanced flavors that have sort of more going on. Like this has, those notes of orange, of strawberry, or perhaps of raspberry or something of that extent. Those are the flavors that we kind of enjoy, because I think really because there's something going on. When you have something like orange and the flavor itself is not particularly appealing, it really starts to detract because you don't have anything else to sort of blend with that.
A quick counterpoint I would just like to bring up for the purpose of discussion is we tasted the what was it, the citrus blast, I believe, and it markets itself as a sort of mix of fruits, much like the mixed berry, but neither of us liked that. What do you think the reason?
I enjoyed the citrus blast.
Did you?
I gave it a middling review. I it exceeded my expectations, I would say, but it was not necessarily incredible. I would still say of the ultras, it was the weakest, but I think it was not as bad as I was expecting.
I see. I definitely see this as one of the more stronger Powerades.
Yes. And also I would say, I think the fact that it's a flavor that we're very comfortable with, it's the mountain berry, of course. I think it stands out a lot more in our heads because we know this flavor. We had it so many times over our lives. And I feel like that is perhaps showing up a little bit where we know this great, excellent taste of the classic Powerade mountain berry. And it's kind of like, it's tickling a little something in the back of your brain, a little nostalgia bone. And it's good. I mean, it is good, but
it is a very good flavor.
It's just different enough from the ultra sort of side that they have with this, with the creatine and the BCAAs and the sucralose and things of that nature. I feel like, obviously we know at this point that the full sugared is superior. We've had the full sugared many times, as I've said, but I think it's interesting to compare this because I personally have not had too much of this mixed berry Powerade Ultra. I have had it in the past. I know you've had it in the past. So this is not our first time trying it, but it is first time trying it for camera. Yeah, I'm not sure what else to say really.
Yeah.
If you were given this in a sporting event, let's say you had a great game of hockey, perhaps, and you had just finished, you scored your hat trick, as they say, and you were given this as a last sort of, huzzah, as a celebratory drink, as you often do. I would be pretty pleased with that, I think.
I think it's a very good drink. I think it's a very strong Powerade. Very nice.
Very nice. I think the only downside is that it's not mountain berry. It's not a full sugar drink.
I think the sugar really does bring a lot of flavor. It exponentially increases the flavor of Powerade.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would say so. What do you think about this color, by the way, also? I would say one thing that's interesting is that, of all the other drinks that we've had, a lot of them are very natural colors. We touched on this previously, but what do you think it is about blue that screams refreshment? Because often people say, water is blue, but that's not necessarily true. And historically speaking, people have not even considered water blue. They've said maybe, it's wine colored, or they said it's dark or gray or black or something to those lines. But blue is kind of more of a recent color in history, speaking of.
Yeah. See, This isn't really talking about necessarily the historical connotations of the color blue, but when I see this, it kind of reminds me of the default Windows 95 background. It has that it has a very nice color to it.
I believe the hex code for that is 008080.
That is correct, actually.
Yeah. It's a beautiful color. I often have that as my background sometimes. It's
a very it's pleasant. I think that's what it is about. That's what it is for me. Is that it sort of reminds me of that refreshing not refreshing.
Not
but
refreshing, but like a sort of relaxing.
It's a very
calm.
relaxing, calming, almost nostalgic color.
I would say other colors, actually, a little bit on the table. I'm not sure we can get a good shot of this, but this reminds me of the iMac G3. If you're familiar with the sort of translucent back.
Yes, the translucent back.
Yeah, it's sort of self-contained. If you've not seen it, it's more of a self-contained sort of computing device. There's like a little CD drive on the bottom. There's a monitor, and you can plug in your keyboard and your mouse and things of that nature. The color of this drink, which you can kind of get it on camera, it has that very similar cyan kind of color. It's definitely blue and a little greenish sort of tinge, but I would not say it's teal. It's definitely more in the blue spectrum. But it's a very nice color, I will say. Without going into sort of the details of, color theory and things of that nature, I think it works well for this idea of berries that we have in society, where it's, berries, it's kind of like the blue, purple kind of colors. Maybe a little red in there for violet, but I think blue works just as well. Blueberries and things of that nature.
Yeah, I don't really have any further comments on this drink.
No, I mean, I don't know what else there is to say. I think we said all there is.
In general, a very good drink, a very solid addition to the Powerade lineup, and it's very refreshing.
Yeah, I think if you are like a casual Powerade fan, this may be probably one of your go-tos, especially if you're into the Ultra line. And if you're into, say, Mountain Berry, maybe you go to McDonald's every so often and you get a Mountain Berry. If you go to the store and you find some Ultra, as we often have, I would say pick it up.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's just a perfect drink for both casual Powerade drinkers as well as the more competitive Powerade drinkers who are
athletes,
athletes,
wrestlers,
and like
baseball players,
but
basketball players.
That's about it for this review of Powerade. Very solid drink, very enjoyable, and we hope you enjoyed our review as well.
Yes.
Stay safe, Poweraders.
We'll see you next time.